Joining us now is OjyOkpe with stories trending around the world.
Good morning,
Hello,
Dr. Abati. How are you this day? Wow, I haven't had Jinx in a long time. Good morning, Dr. Abati. Love your red bow tie. Good morning, Ayo. How are you this morning?
I'm doing
perfect.
Great.
Good morning, Rufai. I've been hearing that we are shaking too much, so let's just let's allow our viewers, let's prepare them small. How far? Well, all right.
Finish.
Well, all right. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending. Over the weekend, Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, and his $20 billion refinery were trending at number 1 after Dangote refuted allegations from Nigeria's downstream regulator that the diesel produced at his refinery is of inferior quality compared to imported quality. Dangote spoke to journalists at his refinery located in Ibeju Lekki, addressing several topics, including accusations of monopoly. He described the accusations as very disheartening, noting that his company's board have decided to shelve plans to develop a new steel plant in Nigeria to avoid further criticism.
Nobody ever called Lafarge, monopoly. But we, Dangote, the first plant we set up was 5 million tons. That was the first one against less than 2 million of local production. But when we got in there, people now start saying, monopoly. So, and this is really very disheartening when people keep talking about all this monopoly. Monopoly, is this only when you stop people, you block them through legal means or whatever. No, it's a, level playing field. In the refinery, we did not, and I repeat, we did not collect one single incentive from the federal government of Nigeria or from even the Lagos state of Nigeria. Yes, Lagos state, maybe they gave us a good deal, but we paid $100 million for the land. It wasn't a free land. Doing new business, like, which we announced this still, actually our own board has decided that no, we shouldn't do this still, because if we do it, we'll be called all sorts of names, monopoly. And then also imports will be encouraged. So we don't want to go into that. Let other Nigerians also go and do it, because we are not the only Nigerians here. There may be some Nigerians with even more cash than us. They should bring that money from Dubai, from other parts of the world, to come and invest in our own fatherland.
You see CEOs like Aliko Dangote come out to refute claims, then you know there's fire on the mountain. I mean, I loved your contribution this morning, Dr. Abati, when you compared it with the issue of air peace and saying that it's only Nigerians that will try to bring our Nigerians down. We are seeing a philanthropist, a huge businessman like this that has donated, in fact, his whole net worth to a refinery. And the Nigerian government appears to be sabotaging him, because I know it may not be the Tinubu administration, because we have heard from the upstream and downstream regulator, we have heard from NNPC. And then also on Sunday, yesterday, he granted an interview to Premium Times, if you can pull up that float, where, they alleged that he was trying to sell his refinery. There it is. Aliko Dangote offers to sell 650 barrels per day oil refinery to NNPC. Obviously, this is definitely satire. It's a joke. Is it to the NNPC that Aliko Dangote will sell this refinery to? Or is it the NNPC that, for years have been promising us that that they will run their refinery? Let us just take the quote that Aliko Dangote gave to Premium Times. If we can pull that up, if we have that quote. This is what he said to Premium Times. Let them buy me out and run the refinery the best way they can. They have labeled me a monopolist. That's an incorrect and unfair allegation. But it's okay. If they buy me out, at least their so-called monopolists would be out of the way. So, of course, you see that people have run with this story. But you also said something about being shocked about the Lagos state government.
So there are a couple of things as regards to that. Like I said today, let cool heads prevail. We can't bring in sentiments of, politics, business interests and all of that. All those interested parties should sit in a room with government and look for an amicable resolution, because there are many sides to this. And this is in total very bad for Nigeria. What I was saying is, when I heard that he paid 100 million, because I've seen a lot of people touting the fact that, Dangote Refinery came here like they provided land. No, And anyway, if you do business in Nigeria, you will know that it's even in your best interest to put money down, despite the fact that government said they are going to give you land. Because the thing about government is anything government gives you in Nigeria is a Greek gift. It's not a real gift. Because when another government comes in, they will have to revoke it. So I'm happy that you put in $100 million on ground as regards that refinery. But you know, also, it's also an indication that many governments have failed. Look at when we were talking about local and the petrochemicals. That if that one had started, if the Ogun State government had done their part, and I'd like to call on the incumbent Ogun State government, please, you people should do your part so that we can get investment. We can't be able to support businesses like this.
Yeah.
See, there is no how in any country in the world you will have businesses that carry countries. Do we want a room for other businesses? Yes. Are there talks about monopoly? Yes. Does it mean it's correct most of the time? No. But there are some businesses that definitely will be bigger than others. Take, for instance, as big as America is, Apple is, and what's it called, and likes of Microsoft, are one of the biggest capitalized companies, and Nvidia recently. Are you going to call them monopoly? Not directly. So, Dangote today is one of the biggest taxpayers. That should count for something. The same Dangote people are trying to bring down, we have forgotten, was the one that started doing a lot of cement roads, that did the Bagada Expressway, that a lot of government now claim glory for, that even one government, one president now had to go and what did they call it? Recommission a road that had always been done already. We all remember that story. We never died in Nigeria, we do. So, this same man has done so much. Why can't we all come together and support it? All these years, nobody was able to build refinery. Yeah. He did it. Why did he build the refinery? Because this same government denied him the chance to be able to turn around Port Harcourt refinery. That many years after, the NNPC has not still run. They have taken a 2 billion debt now. After taking the money, for them to start the refinery is a problem for them. They keep pushing the date forward. They say youth have gone to disrupt it the other day again. He has done what they cannot do. The only thing is to be able to support him. Even if you have bad belly against him. Bad belly is allowed in this world though. But please, with your bad belly, think about how we can amicably resolve this and move the nation forward.
I love that.
That's just it.
You mentioned biggest taxpayer is also one of the biggest employers.
Biggest VAT payers, employer of labor.
Biggest employer. Like I told you when I went to the Dangote planet, that's what I call it. The young people of Nigeria were there. They were, I mean, I can't even count how many people were there. You know, showing us the laboratory, showing us the huge refinery that he has set up there. I mean, Dangote refinery, it's here to stay. Go ahead, Dr. Abati.
Well, okay, just to restate the point with which I started this morning, which is that President Tinubu must wade into this matter.
Absolutely.
The midstream and downstream regulatory authority is giving his administration a bad name and embarrassing it. And that is why I say it's an image issue for the Tinubu administration. The Tinubu administration came into office on the basis of, progressive politics, of being pro-business, of being pro-growth, of being pro-investment. And I think that the Dangote initiative, which you had all been looking forward to, and we have all been celebrating, 650,000 barrels of crude, finished product per day, the single largest, train of a refinery in Africa. And now the same regulator that cannot do anything at the midstream and downstream, called, I think Farouk Ahmed is his name.
His name is Farouk Ahmed.
He is the one now saying the Dangote refinery has not been licensed. When, as we have in this day newspaper and other papers today, there is clear evidence that in fact the NMDPRA went there and even at the end of March or thereabouts, wrote a letter saying that in terms of equipment and personnel, that refinery has satisfied minimum requirement. Now, let me draw your attention to a newspaper that I have here. Mm-hmm. It's, I think, the Independent of February 11, 2022. There was a chief executive officer of this same NMDPRA, Minister Farouk Ahmed. One CSO, civil society organization, protested against him. They called themselves Nigeria First. Imagine what they were asking Mr. Farouk Ahmed to do. They were asking him to resign because of his role in importation of adulterated premium motor spirits
Yes.
in circulation.
See, this is a big story. This is a big story.
Now the
Very
same
big story.
Mr. Ahmed is standing on a pedestal and accusing another person. Whereas one of the things that the Dangote people have proven is that, look, they have a sulfur recovery unit.
Correct.
And that, you know, their diesel, the sulfur content is between 42 ppm and 87.6 ppm,
Right.
which is much lower than what is available
Absolutely.
in the market.
Absolutely.
But the simple point is that, look, the responsibility of the regulator is to nurture the business. The same people who have not been able to fix the refineries, they are trying to block the one that, you know, we're trying to do. They have an obligation to support that refinery to make sweet crude available, Bonny Light, which we say we produce in Nigeria here. Those who say it cannot be done should stop disturbing people who have done it. After all, people were discouraging him. He told us that they were saying it was not possible, it was not possible. Now, all the naysayers in Nigeria, when you do something, they will try to stop you.
This is the point.
Which is the same story of Airpeace.
This is the same point.
Which is the same story of other companies.
Right. You know, Dr. Bati, I mean, that is a very important article that you just pulled up, that they're talking about, you know, Farouk, asking for Farouk Ahmed's resignation. Over the weekend, we had a brilliant economist, Kevin Emmanuel. I encourage our viewers to go watch this on the morning show, where he broke down, you know, the pre-commissioning stage, the sulfur levels in Nigeria, and even Aliko Dangote also accused the regulator, saying that, you know, they don't even have a laboratory. How have they been testing these levels at this point? So we need to hear more from the Nigerian government. But, you know, by 11 o'clock, I believe, there is going to be a press briefing. There's going to be a press joint downstream midstream petroleum committee to probe the alleged unwholesome activities in NNPCL and downstream sector. So hopefully we'll get more details from this meeting. Well said, all of you all. We'll take another story. Nigerian leaders, including former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, over the weekend celebrated former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi on his 63rd birthday, saying that he has demonstrated sincere patriotism and instilled hope in Nigerians. Peter Obi had appealed to Nigerians to channel resources and any activity marking his 63rd birthday to the needy and the poor in the country. Well, in a series of tweets, Peter Obi shared some activities marking his birthday, including a visit to former Rangers FC and former Green Eagles player Sylvanus Okpala, who underwent surgery at the hospital. I mean, Ayo, what would you describe this? This is leadership.
Absolutely. Leadership. And whether he's spending Christmas in the IDP camp or using his birthday or special occasions to really promote, you know, the good of Nigerians who are the most vulnerable, poorest, I think it is excellent show of leadership, and he's never, you know, failed to do that. So happy birthday to him. And I hope that also beyond that, it's also an example to others in terms of being able to use your platform influence for the greater good of Nigerians and the people across the world.
Absolutely. He is definitely showing example with this gesture.
Absolutely.
I mean, telling people to, you know, donate to the needy, and even, you know, going to visit our sporting heroes at the hospital. I believe Sylvanus Okpala had surgery recently at the Reddington hospital, and it was nice to see that he went there.
Former captain of the Green Eagles, popularly known as Quicksilver.
Quicksilver, absolutely. Good gesture. But in another development, Bayo Ononuga, the special advisor on information and strategy to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has come under heavy criticism after he alleged that the supporters of Peter Obi are planning to cause mayhem across the country and that he should be held responsible for anarchy. Bayo made the claim in a post on X and also stated that the protest planners are also the same people who were instigated by Nnamdi Kanu to launch destructive NSAS protests in Nigeria in October 2020. His tweet reads in part, revealed, Peter Obi's supporters are the people planning mayhem in Nigeria. Obi should be held responsible for anarchy. They are the people spreading the hashtags end bad governance, Tinubu must go, and Revolution 2024. Wow. They are not Democrats, but anarchists. They are attempting to call out our people via propaganda because their messiah, Peter Obi, failed to win the presidency in the 2023 election as bad losers. They don't have the patience to wait for another election in 2027. They would rather destabilize Nigeria by staging a civilian coup against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Let me take this response from EJ. He wrote, "Sir, it is important to acknowledge that Nigerians are experiencing frustration at this time. Yes, there are individuals who will continue to feel discontent after the 2023 election, but that shouldn't be the focus now. The government should prioritize finding solutions to the economic difficulties in the country and show empathy towards the struggles of its people. The Constitution guarantees the right to peaceful protest, which is essential for a healthy democracy. The people should be allowed to do that. Destructive protests, however, I do not support." Well, another user there wrote, he actually posted a video, and I'll play that video, but he wrote, this was Tinubu calling on Nigerians to come out during Jonathan's regime. Let's take a look at that video.
But they will forget the other one. That is what they are doing with your money. Not enough that they are stealing from our children tomorrow for lack of investment in education. They are still embezzling the retirement benefit of hardworking Nigeria, including our grandfathers. They are stealing the port, the treasury, not even leaving some coins for us to war with. Let them be out now.
All right, that is our president. I was our president in 2014 calling, protests is our fundamental rights. Abi?
I didn't know.
You didn't know?
Egbobayo Nodunga to be a propagandist.
Oh, wow.
I have a lot of respect for him based on the work he did and in the struggles in this country. But the propagandist nature, I didn't know that part of him. He's just spreading propaganda. And we would like him to substantiate with empirical facts that is actually Peter Obi camp. And if he doesn't substantiate with empirical facts, Dr. Bati, you're the lawyer, I think he should be sued. Secondly, the one that hurt me the most is he went to mention the likes of them, Professor Patutomi, that had been busy in a fellowship in America, that he was also part of those that are trying to. This is just propaganda. Why is it that those, I repeat, that protested heavily against Jonathan hate protests today? I'll take you back. There's a tweet as made. You see, Twitter has too much receipts. By Bayo Onuga on the 9th of January 2012. You know, as at then, the subsidy protests were still on, Occupy Nigeria. He tweeted, "Songs of protest sent to me by Omotunde Murutala Bello. So inspiring. Sing it if you speak Yoruba." These were people that were excited about protest in 2012. All I just needed to do was to go check his Twitter. So the question is, what changed? The parameters were empirically better under Jonathan than it is today. As at Jonathan's time, Nigeria was about one of the top 5 investment destinations in Africa. As at Jonathan's time, the economy was well close to 500 billion GDP. Today it has halved to 251 billion GDP. As at Jonathan's time, unemployment rate was not the way it is high today. As at Jonathan's time, we did not have well over 34% inflation. So pound for pound, all the parameters. As at Jonathan's time, if you go and check, the likes of the big companies that are living in Nigeria today were declaring bigger profits. And when they had that protest that they shut this country down for 2 weeks, nobody died. There was never a time that the military that was stationed around the Ganifawa Emi Square area went to shoot protesters. In fact, the only person that died was the overzealous police officer that shot somebody called Demola around Yaya Baton. That was the only incident we recorded. But look at what happened in NSAS. Look at all of this. All the time they kept on protesting and making this country ungovernable. Jonathan never for once said, please don't do it. Everybody had a right to protest.
That is it.
So why is it that now that the country is, all the indices are bad, these same people This same Mr. Bayo Onanuga that tweeted a song of protest sent to him by Murtala Bello on the 9th of January 2012 finds it difficult and start to blame all sorts of people. Anyway, the Labour Party has responded to him. They said they have no hand in it. Obi too has been. If he has the facts that it's actually Obi, he should bring out the empirical facts. Yeah. If he doesn't, he should be sued. Can't a government spokesman be sued?
I mean, that's why Dr. Bati can answer that question. A quick comment from you, and then we'll just take a...
In terms of just throwing that line of it being propaganda, number one, the reason for that protest is that Nigerians, according to reports, want to protest the hardship and the high cost of living. So the question as to where the Mr. Peter Obi conversation comes in is, Peter Obi increased the price of fuel and the attendant effect on Nigerians. Is it the one that's the determining factor of how much a bag of rice and a bag of gari is in the market? Is it the one that has ensured, that hasn't made the this student loan come to pass? Is it the one that has made transportation costs skyrocket without CNG buses, even though that is an ongoing conversation? So it is almost moving away from the real issues and pointing fingers at what is not. Right. Let them face the real concerns of Nigerians, Absolutely. Which is that Nigerians are suffering a being power. That is what people want them to address. If they can address it, perhaps there will be no protest, not pointing fingers at the gentleman.
All right, Dr. Bati, I'll take my final story, then maybe you can answer whether or not, Bayo Onanuga can be sued. We'll end what's trending. In the United States, where the country's president, Joe Biden's announcement that he would not seek re-election, upending the 2024 race, topped the charts as the biggest trending story. Biden endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris to replace him. Well, just moments after Biden's announcement, the Trump campaign unleashed an offensive against Harris, seeking to tie her to Biden's record on immigration and accused her of covering up his much-touted mental decline.
Kamala was in on it. She covered up Joe's obvious mental decline.
Our president is in good shape, in good health, tireless, vibrant, and I have no doubt about the strength of the work that we have done.
But Kamala knew Joe couldn't do the job, so she did it. Look what she got done. A border invasion, runaway inflation, the American dream dead. They created this mess. Kamala owns this failed record.
Well, former President Donald Trump also released a statement saying that Joe Biden was not fit to run and is certainly not fit to serve as president. Well, here's what he wrote on his Truth Social. He wrote, "Crooked Joe Biden was not fit to run for president and is certainly not fit to serve and never was. We will suffer greatly because of his presidency, but we will remedy the damage he has done very quickly. Make America great again." Well, Trump had also previewed coming attacks against Kamala Harris at a campaign rally in Grand Rapids, Michigan on Saturday. He called her crazy.
From the moment we take back the White House from crooked Joe Biden and Kamala, I call her Laughing Kamala. You ever watch her laugh? She's crazy. You can tell a lot by a laugh. No, she's crazy. She's nuts. She's not as crazy as Nancy Pelosi, crazy Nancy. Did you see Nancy Pelosi is selling out Biden now? Did you see? She turned on him like a dog. Well, I don't know if he should continue. All of a sudden, where did that come from? She was 100%. All of a sudden, she's not sure. Not sure means he's gone. But no, she's crazy as a bedbug. She's a crazy person.
She's crazy. I mean, this is not funny. I know you said we will know because it's a New Yorker. But it's a new era for the polls right now, right?
President Biden has said that President Trump poses an existential threat to American democracy. Yes. And it's one of the reasons why he has taken the path of honor, path of leadership and patriotism for his party and for his country, to allow a younger person, 59-year-old Kamala Harris, well, he has anointed her, but it's not as if it's automatic. What do you expect Trump to say? Trump also said that President Biden is the worst president in history, and that Sleepy Joe can go and take a nap. He calls him...
Sleepy Joe can go and take a nap. I mean, Trump with his words.
But the truth of the matter is that President Biden is a man of history.
Yes.
And he has done something historic. He has done something unprecedented since 1968. Yes. And I think that history will remember his performance
Absolutely.
positively.
Absolutely.
But the story is an unfolding one.
It is an unfolding.
As for immunity, only 36 governors and the president and the VP in Nigeria, making a total of, I think, how many? 74,
right.
Including deputy governors, have immunity.
Fantastic. Yes or no? Buy or no, Noga? Can he be sued? Really quickly. 1 second. Yes or no?
He doesn't have immunity.
All right.
But you have to read the statement.
Yes,
because he mentioned names,
yes.
he provided evidence.
Unacceptable. Well,
so
all right.
it's for the people to defend themselves.
He who
if they
alleges
say they are
must
not
prove as well. Well,
guilty.
all right. I'd like to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on What's Trending. Well, that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.